we can't not talk about Boeing and the situation that's happening there right now. They're not having a good time of it, are they?
No, they can't. It's not going well, is it? For Boeing.
Yeah. I mean,
Bad, bad.
tumultuous couple of years, isn't it? Really, post the Max issue.
And now they've got a whistleblower on the 787. They've probably got more whistleblowers than the Premier League have got referees at the moment. So it's interesting to see how that's all going to play out. I mean, the really ironic thing is that their major competitor can't do anything to capitalize on this, really, because they've got production lines that are completely and utterly full. So in some ways, Boeing are in a better place than they should be, because they're not losing as many orders as perhaps would otherwise be the case. So it's worrying times. I saw some news last week that said their production levels are about 8 a month at the moment on the Max.
And that's considerably lower than the
They were
plan,
hoping for 36.
wasn't it?
So
Yeah.
that's going to put them at the year end, if it continues at that rate, somewhere about 200 aircraft deliveries behind the curve.
Wow.
It's not just the
That's a lot of
impact.
disappointed customers, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just that though. It's the revenue hits of this business when you think about it. We're
Yeah.
talking about $100 million asset where Boeing doesn't realize the cash on their books until they deliver. So, we're talking billions of dollars of lost revenue, damage on reputation.
I
Yeah.
think it's the spin-off though, isn't it, as well, in terms of not, we often think of aircraft orders as being about facilitating growth, and they're not always about that. They're about replacing aging aircraft in the fleet. And actually, if you're keeping your aged aircraft for longer, you've got to do more maintenance checks. And
More
we all know
maintenance,
that
higher fuel burn.
maintenance is a resource constrained area as well.
Yeah. Although, if you were an airline and you were planning to out an aircraft and replace with a new one, you would have had to have already planned in your return maintenance checks. So, if anything, that's a little bit of a saving grace in the whole
Yeah.
situation. But it is what it is, and we can come back to this probably every month for the next 2
It's
years.
going to rumble on, isn't it, this story? And no doubt, well, will we ever see anything in the public domain about compensation for carriers as a result of this? But it plays into, all of those dynamics that are going on in terms of parts of the world where there's strong growth projected, and to some extent hampers airlines' abilities to really capitalize on demand, doesn't it?